Welcome back, SoleNSons Nation! It's been a minute since Clutch has been on. We've been busy with school, summer school. Don't want to talk about it, but it happened. Basketball, it's been crazy, so we're finally getting some time to put up another video. What have you been up to?
Just chilling.
Just chilling and watching Netflix.
Yep.
So recently Jordan released the Jordan 12 flu games, and to, I guess, commemorate or to celebrate that performance, I think it was 19 or 20 years to the day, they did a pop-up shop in Salt Lake City, which happens to be in our area. So my parents happened to be out of town at the time, so party at my house. Just kidding. But so my parents were out of town. I wake up that morning getting a text from my dad sending me a screenshot of the tweet, and he says something along the lines of, "I'm so mad that that Jordan finally does a pop-up shop in Utah and I'm out of the country." So he's pretty mad about that, and we ended up, me and Swaggy C ended up heading up to Salt Lake City together. We got ready and, you know, we were looking fresh in our J's. I ended up wearing the Jordan 14 black toes, which is personally one of my favorite Jordans. And what'd you wear?
I wore the Jordan 11 Concord lows.
We were looking pretty fresh. So we get there, it started at 2:30, so we get there around 30 minutes early, which we should have got there earlier. So we get there and it's about, so the store, I'm trying to think of how to explain it to you guys. We're gonna say this is how long the street is. We were all the way at the end of the street and the store is all the way here. It was a very long line, as you can see in the picture. We get there and we've been waiting there for about 2 hours and it starts to rain. And we're like, oh geez, like the line is literally moving, like they can only fit 25 people or something like that in the store at a time, right? Mm-hmm. And so the line was moving very slow. Like we'd been there for 2 hours and maybe moved. So in this thing we moved like this much in a span of 2 hours. And so it was a struggle waiting. It was hard. Me and Swaggy C started playing this game where we would just sit on the curb and we each picked a color of car, and whichever one drove past the most times got to pick dinner that night, and we got up to like 200 something color.
I won.
He chose white, I chose silver. He ended up winning by, it was like 210 to like 197. But
no, it was way further.
It was something like that. But
it was
like
crazy.
We ended up quitting because we were getting so high in numbers. But anyways, so that's how bored we were in the line. My phone ended up dying too, so that was awesome. So Swaggy C had to hold the camera down.
Yep.
But anyway, it starts raining. They start handing out Jordan sponsored ponchos. Just kidding, they weren't. They were just normal ponchos. But I asked the guy if they're Jordan ponchos and he said no. So I was pretty upset. Then they start handing out these towels for the Jordan event, which actually came in handy because it was pretty rainy. But as you can see right here, it's the flu game towel. It's upside down. But as you can see, it says 97, the flu game logo, and 38 for the amount of points he scored. So these came in very handy because the ponchos weren't doing too much to cover our heads, so we kind of put them like this to maybe stop a little bit of rain. But by the end of the day, you could wring these things out and then you could drink out of it because there's so much water. But our J's were soaked. Our pants looked like it was bad. It looks like we just jumped in a swimming pool with our J's on. I know, it's crazy. But so anyways, we get all the way up to the line and they finally say, alright, you two can go in, and that might have been the greatest moment of my life. We've been waiting there for 4 hours and we finally could go in. But so we come in there and they hand us these pins, which are pretty cool. It's the same logo as the towel but in different colors. It says the 97 flu game and the 38. So I thought those were pretty cool. I thought I lost mine, so I got another one. So I ended up getting 2, and then we got one for Papa SoleNSons, so we ended up getting 4. So that was pretty cool. But so once we got inside, they handed us the t-shirt customization booklet. As some of you may know, at the pop-up events you can customize shirts there specifically to that event. So this one had a few cool designs in it. Mix and match. So you could choose 2 logos to put on your t-shirt. So out of those ones you could choose 2 to put on. So I ended up getting the Thank You Utah logo with the flu game shoe in the background. So I thought it turned out pretty nice. What'd you get, Swaggy C?
I got the Blue Game Sick logo, and then it's gotta be the shoes in the back.
So I think we both scored on those. But we actually could only get 2 t-shirts, so I had to get an extra large so me and Papa SoleNSons could share. So the other options we could get was the color your own. So you could color your own 12, and they had markers there for you, and you could color your own. But I didn't necessarily want to do that because I thought it would kind of, I don't know, defeat the purpose. I wouldn't want to like design my own 12, but it was a flu game event. I don't know, I just thought that was kind of weird. And we were very tired and we wanted to get home, so I don't think either of us really wanted to spend the time coloring. So then you could also color the Thank You Utah logo, and then the It's Gotta Be the shoes and Air Jordan. That was really fun to be able to kind of talk to people and interact with all the people there, because we don't get much interaction here with sneakerheads. So it was kind of fun to be out and about. But so anyways, when you're in the store, they had this big setup of 12s. So it was just like, as you can see in the picture, it's just got a cool logo in the background, the same one that was on the cover of the t-shirt customization menu, and then a bunch of 12s that have released this year. So they had the PSNY 12s there, which I thought were super dope because those are super limited, so it was way cool to see those in person. They also had the Master 12s, which I really liked. Those were nice. They had the French Blues, the Wing 12. They had the UNC Blue 12s there that just released. They also had the alternates there. So back up, I kind of forgot to mention this, but so they were selling the flu games there and the alternate 12s there. So this was before the alternates came out yet, but the flu games had already come out yet. My dad already had a pair, so he didn't need us to get the flu games, so we went there to get the alternate 12s beforehand. We ended up waiting there, and about 3 hours into it they come out and say all the alternate 12s are sold out. So that was kind of a bummer. We waited 4 hours to not get any shoes, but it was still a fun experience. So anyways, back to the shoes that were there. They also had alternate 12s there on the stand, which was cool to see because those hadn't released yet. And then they had the OVO 12s. So it was kind of cool because those, like, to personally, I don't know if we'll be able to get our hands on a pair of those when those release, because those are probably pretty limited, so that'll be hard to get. So it was kind of cool to be able to see those, and it was a sample pair on the inside, so that was kind of cool. They also had the waterproof 12s there and the wool 12s there. So my favorite 12s that they had was probably the OVOs, the Wings, and the PSNY. I know I sound like a hype beast, but most of us probably are never going to be able to see those shoes in person, so I thought that was pretty cool. There was also one of the workers there had the Wing 12s on, and since it was raining and he was walking around a lot, like throughout the day, it started to rub off, and you could see the picture, so that was pretty cool. Anyways, what was your favorite 12s you saw there?
The OVOs and the University Blues, and then the alternates.
So they had some pretty cool stuff there. They had a lot of cool artwork, as you can see there. So then as we're leaving, they have you go out through the back, and you kind of go out this little tunnel, and then it opens up into this kind of party area where they had free food and free pizza. They also had an area where you could drink, but obviously we're not old enough and we do not drink.
And they were gonna,
but I'm sure it would have been lit. So as we're walking out, there's a bunch of artwork outside, but it's kind of got wet, so it kind of added a cool effect to it. But so they just had loud music, and as we're walking out, as you can see in this video we took as we're walking out, we ended up taking SoleNSons pick at the end. So overall, I'd say it was a pretty cool experience to have. You know, there's probably never going to be another pop-up shop in Utah, to be honest, unless, no, there probably won't be. I think it was worth it, and now we can tell our kids about it. So, anything else you want to say?
Oh, it was fun. Worth it.
What was your favorite part?
Playing the card game. And I dominated you.
Favorite part was waiting in line. But my favorite part was probably just kind of being able to be in that sneaker environment with all those people, and then obviously seeing all those unreleased shoes was pretty cool, and being able to get these sick t-shirts. So overall it was a good experience, and this is Hutch.
And so IDC.
This is SoleNSons.
We out. Boom.